What are we trending for as a country? Or what are we known for as a country? In other terms, what is our national character as a country? And as such, you realize that our character is questionable. Why? Because look at, for example, the sector of tourism. We have destroyed our forests. Where is Lukiani forest? Why is it that Kipsangui torrent is now moving with the force it used to have? Is no more moving with the velocity that it used to have? It's because Lukiani forest was long destroyed in terms of logging. If you ask the residents there, they will tell you that it is, or it was, the forest officers that were inviting them to pay some small levies. Then they were allowed to cut down the trees for whatever purposes, domestic, whether for selling, and as such. Same when you go to Mount Elgon and you go to Kiptogot Forest, you realize that it is the officers there who are encouraging the residents to go and pay some small money, 5,000, 15,000, so they are given land for cultivation. And as such, when torrent known as Swam is destroyed, it means Takwe River will also die. That is the trend that we as a country have on the international scene and also region-wise. I mean, we must be able to look at this. Why is it we are trending everywhere? People, they are saying Kenya is destroying Mao. When you go to Tanzania, they say Mao in Kenya is dying. When you go to Uganda, they say Kenya is dying. When you go to indeed any country, they say, oh, Mao forest is dying and therefore Kenya is dying. They hear that Mara River is also coming to an end. Who is annihilating all this? Who is the engineer behind the annihilation of our fauna, our flora, and our rivers? It is the Kenyans. It is the Kenyan government. It is the Kenyan system. And therefore, that is why our character is questionable as a country. Why is it that even today, when we talk about corruption, you realize that Western has almost lost all its factories. Even people working on those factories are now poorer than the days when those factories were there. They cry of poverty because factories are no longer there. You can see that every time when we discuss the matters of goods, it's all about contraband goods. And members of parliament, apart from a few, confessed that there was someone who was bribing them so that they could doctor a report or otherwise shoot it down before the parliament. And as such, people see us and they say, can we emulate that country? No, we can't. We used to say that Nigeria is more corrupt, but now Nigeria seems to be better than Kenya because Kenya has nothing to show in terms of its character. Even Chinese have discovered that they can abuse us and leave and go. That's why that Chinese man who was engaging in motorbike selling business in this country decided to call everybody in this country as a mangi. He called President Mangi, he called us Mangi, he called learned friends Mangi, he called doctors in this country Mangis, they called teachers in this country Mangis. I mean everybody a Mangi. If you ask yourself what is the behavior and the character of a Mangi, you'll know what that Chinese meant. And you realize that we are not in any way trending for good reasons as a country. Another thing is, we as a country, we are trending for doping. Our athletics have resorted into doping so that they can shine. What has made them not to shine? No, they have realized that in this country, if you want to make life, you must have shortcuts. You must have some funny routes. You must have some funny ways on how to make money. And as such, they have opted for them to say, I must be able to get money in a simpler way. And therefore, I must engage in taking some drugs into my blood system so that I can run as quick as I can, as faster as the drug can be able to direct me or can be able to stimulate my muscles. As such, we end up trending for bad reasons. People do not trust us in the world. They are not trusting us at all because they say, Kenyans used to be good athletes. What has happened to them to engage in doping? We must be able to look in these matters and reconstruct ourselves. Another thing, you go to another country, you go to South Sudan here, the big question you are asked, you come from which tribe? Are you a Kikuyu? Are you a Luya? Are you a Mkamba? Are you a Luo? Until you are like, what can I be able to answer? Are they asking in good faith? you realize that it's not in good faith at all. It's because they know that in our country we are exercising negative ethnicity, and as such, they are unwilling to have us export our behavior in their countries. And that's why we must be able to work on this in our own image, so that we are able to, as a country, have a better image internationally and even regionally. Ugandans have nothing to emulate from us nowadays. I used to have friends in Uganda, they used to think of why is it that they are not Kenyans. They wish to be Kenyans. But nowadays, they also laugh at us and say, you are doing as bad as us here in Uganda. Or you are doing as bad as any other country in this region which is not doing good. I mean, we must be able to check ourselves and see to it that we change our national character, so that as a country we are able to have a new look, a look that people can admire the way they used to admire in some years ago, before 2007 and 2008, or some years ago before 2006. I mean, a period between 2000 and 2007, we had regained a good image as a country, and therefore we must be able to restore that image as a country. We must have parliamentarians who do not fight in parliament. We must have MCAs who do not pour water on each other, who do not go and take alcohol, so that they can be able to eject some of their members from the assemblies. You can imagine the kind of image we have when we see our MCAs saying that they don't want a speaker, but rather than doing it in a procedural way, it's just to go take alcohol, come to assembly when you're drunk, and therefore engage in such like hooliganism behavior that you don't want to speak. It's unfortunate, and that's why we trend for bad reasons. We must be able to change, we must be able to reconstruct our image as a country, otherwise we're losing it. Why is that today also another trend that we are in is that we are losing our ladies. They are dying every day. I don't know the concept of slave queenism, but I suspect that that's what is leading our ladies into the hands of a few who do not care about their lives, but rather to kill them. I wish we look at this matter of slave queenism and see if we can be able to reconstruct it around and have a new look, another picture of our ladies, so that nobody can be able to say, that is my slave queen, that is my slave queen. In any case, what is slaying? Slaying, 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 slaying. Why slaying? That is what is bringing to our destruction. And when we are slaughtered, all of us are surprised, then we cry, and eventually a country as this trends in the world for bad reasons and not for good reasons. That yes, Africans are enemies to themselves, they are enemies to their wives, they are enemies to their girls. That's why they are destroying them, they are killing them. I mean, we must be able to change. Another thing that we must change, and now this barely lies with the government, borrowing. That we have borrowed so much to the level that now we have no choice but rather to impose a VAT on the common mwananchi. A common mwananchi who is working in M-Pesa and has always been earning 8,000, has always been earning 3,000, and that money remains as such. There's no increment, and you come and impose a VAT on that kind of a person, on such an individual, and you are there saying that as a country we must share a burden. Surely, when this money, in any case you can say that there's SGR, but if SGR was meant to do good to our economy, I remember when we were told and we believed that SGR is going to change our economic levels, and I thought, and all of us agreed that it was for good, but eventually, instead of being for good, we have realized that we have been forced to pay a VAT of 8%, and as such, goods have to increase. We have to see inflation rates going up. We have to see our budgets ballooning, not because we have money, but because of a VAT of 8%. And we trend for such bad reasons as a country that forces its citizens into such like engagements, so that it can be able to meet whatever borrowing that it had done, whatever loans it had acquired, whatever bonds it had acquired, whether from China, whether from World Bank, whether from IMF. That's why we trend for bad reasons. We could trend for good reasons if all the borrowing were for anyway constructive purposes. so that we say, yes, there's SGR going up to Naivasha, or there's SGR going up to Kisumu, and the income is this, and therefore people have been employed this number, and therefore we are seeing everything doing good. That this money we have borrowed, yes, and we have set up maybe houses for common wananchi, and therefore people are enjoying their lives. There's nothing bad. There is social amenities. We have doctors in our countries, but we doubt ourselves. And that's why even when we doubted ourselves, when we doubted our national character, is when we brought in doctors from Cuba. Because we don't trust ourselves, we don't trust our systems, we don't trust our character, we don't trust our national behavior as a country. We must be able to change as Kenyans. We must be able to look at ourselves in our mirror and say, we have failed for bad reasons, and we are known for bad reasons, and we must be able to change. Thank you so much for watching me and listening to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Felix Mulunde is my name, so that we can be able to continue discussing these matters as for the betterment of our country. I wish you well.